Yo, what's going on, guys? Savage here. Today we're gonna be covering a game I recently had, and before we get into the game, I want to go ahead and tell you guys I actually lowered my sensitivity and my DPI for mouse and keyboard, and my gameplay drastically improved. If you guys are on mouse and keyboard, guys, try lowering your DPI and your sensitivity to get better precision. But anyway, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, join the Wolfpack today. Don't forget to leave a like on the video and follow us over on Twitch, where all this gameplay you can see live over there. All right, so this is actually my first game ever playing on the new sensitivity, and it's also my first game of duos. Now, from my PUBG experience and from my Blackout experience, I've always preferred duos, but when it came to Warzone, I was more or less kind of afraid to dive into it. All right, so normally me and my teammates will usually separate whether I'm playing duos, trios, or quads. We'll land in the same area, but we'll usually land on different buildings. However, we do notice as we're flying in that another team is landing near us as well. So we're gonna go ahead and drop down on the same building and try to get a pick. All right, so normally I wouldn't full send this situation, but right here I decided, you know what, screw it, let's go. I always recommend getting guns before you push enemy teams. We really could have paid the price right here. Fortunately, these guys were bots and it worked out, but guys, you have got to grab a gun first. Don't go diving into a 1v2 like I just did with a pistol. But again, I made the educated decision to go ahead and push because one of them had broken armor, and I can definitely 2 to 3 tap him with a pistol. And the other guy looked like he had been shredded as well. Just always weigh the options. The pro is he has got broken armor. The con is you don't have a good gun. I really don't utilize LMGs as much as I should, and I'm finding out slowly that LMGs are actually super overpowered. A very good PKM build can do you a bunch of justice. But of course, we absolutely obliterate them. As you see, me and my teammate, I push from the right side to finish off the last guy. He pushes from the left. Go ahead, again, I always preach this, shotgun all the enemy, come up from different angles. Never push in an area at the same way because all he's got to do is spray and pray, and there's a high probability he's going to be able to get the kills. But as soon as we finish that fight, another team decides to push. These guys really played that horribly. They knew where we were, and still he decided to leave his cover, try to push to the building, and that was kind of a bad decision. The only cover he had between that wall and that building was one tree, and because of my PKM, it just absolutely annihilated him. Now, Boneyard's usually hot. You're usually going to have about 4 or 5 teams there. Even if you don't think there are, go ahead and run through it as if they are, because you're always going to find somebody straggling behind. So right here, my teammate calls out a player and we start positioning for it. You'll notice he's in the plane. I decided to fall back, and fortunately a guy with Deddy happened to be right there. So when I jumped out of the plane, he turned inwards and didn't see me. Then I had to drop on him from behind. Again, the reason why I bailed out of that plane is because I don't ever want to push the enemy or fight the enemy in the same spot my teammate is. RPG, C4, things like that. You don't want to give them massive amount of damage on both of you at the same time. Separate, that way if an enemy's focusing one of you guys, the other teammate can come from behind and put some shots on him and hopefully kill him as well. All right, guys, so normally I always try to say get your loadout as fast as you can, but sometimes you just can't get the loadout. Whether you're fighting teams and they're grabbing the searches and you can't grab them, and you're fighting teams and when you kill them they don't have much money. Like this, for instance, I believe I have 3 kills. I think he's got 4 kills and we're just broke as hell. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way towards the buy station anyway, loot up those buildings, hopefully get some money so we can buy a loadout. Now, I am short on plates, and I will always put plates before anything. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a little money that I do have and buy some plates, and hopefully we'll come across some more money. All right, these buildings right here are finicky to push. This is where C4 and RPGs actually come into clutch. Luckily, the guy that was camping that building right there was a little bit of a bot. Don't do what that guy did. He just put himself in a room, backed himself into a corner, and then if you get full rushed or C4 or whatever the case may be, you're going to get annihilated, not stand a chance. Regardless of how you feel about camping, if you're going to camp, make sure you're camping an area that gives you multiple ways to get out. Maybe not multiple entrances to get in, but multiple ways to get out. That way, if you do get C4'd or if you do get RPG'd, you won't be trapped. All right, so right here, don't judge me. I'm actually stopping to talk to chat for a second. And while I do that, my hands are off the mouse and keyboard, so I get peppered a little bit. All right, so realistically, I'm positioned inside the next building, trying to get a different angle, which is working. But because I don't see anybody, I overstay my welcome. Guys, if you're in a window and you're trying to peek and trying to get some shots from a different angle and nobody's there, go ahead and rotate, because there's a high probability that the guy you're looking for or his teammate is rotating on you. And as you see right here, by the time I actually round the right side of the building, I am greeted by Becky Joe and his jump shotting ass, pretending like this is Fortnite, and I go ahead and obliterate him with the gun that I picked up off the ground. These guys have their full loadout, so you got to be real careful how you play this. I am hurt on plates, guys, so I'm gonna go back in and pick up a couple plates that I had found earlier and reload my gun and just kind of just breathe for a second, regain, and then rechow. Guys, there's no reason to be taking shots and just thug out the death, guys. There's no reason at all. If he breaks your armor, if he gets your health down, just take a second, regroup, think about it, think about your position, think about who's around you, and make a play. Utilize the king bounty to your advantage. What I mean by that is if you see a king bounty, go for the kill. Unfortunately, most of the time these guys will be posted up with helicopters on roofs and you physically can't get to them. But if they are in an area that you can actually contest them, go ahead and wipe him out. And of course, as I'm pushing that guy, you want to be aware of your surroundings because other people are going to be trying to hunt him down too to get that free cash. And as you can see right there, there's a guy sitting by the truck. We go ahead and take him out and then follow up with the actual King Bounty. All right, guys, so what you're about to see in this situation was actually a bad play, just ended up working. So as you can see, me and my teammate are right next to each other, putting down shots on the same two guys who are also right next to each other. We go ahead and get the kills. Luckily, what I should have done was left that building and that wall to the right. I should have vaulted over that, gone across, and got a different angle on these guys. That way they couldn't just aim at one area and put shots on both of us. Guys, the biggest mistake I see players make, and I make myself too, I'm calling myself out right here, and this is recent gameplay. The biggest mistake I see players make is challenging other players right next to your teammates. There's no reason to be holding pockets with your teammates. Stay in the same area, stay within a close range, but there's never a reason to stay on top of each other. Also, guys, don't be afraid to move around the map. Now, usually I'm going for objectives, but as you can see in this match, we're really not getting many objectives. One, because the two searches that we tried to do, someone grabbed them right before we could get there, and we just kind of got tired of trying to go for things and people picking them up. So guys, even if you're not doing objectives, you can still move around the map. As you can see, we're bouncing from boneyard to train station, back to boneyard, back to train station, and it's getting a little ridiculous. Now right here, and this is my fault, my teammate is driving up the storage and he calls out two guys sitting at the wall. And in my head, when he called them out, I assumed that we were bailing out and fighting them, and he continued to drive off, which was the better play. There's no reason to jump out of a moving vehicle and challenge a team, pull the vehicle around to safety, get a better position, and then contest the team. I just was running on autopilot. I don't know if I was reading chat. I don't remember what I was doing exactly. There's no reason to jump out of a car and get into a fight when you have no position. Terrible play on my part. Now that me and my teammate are coming back from the gulag, guess what? Our loadout drop is safely positioned on the roof. It's almost like I did that on purpose. So we're going to go ahead and land on this, guys. Usually you can get a free loadout stash within the second circle, but since we already have one, we're not going to waste any time at all. We're just going to land on it. Now, for some reason, my teammate can hear better than me, and he's able to hear that there's a team under us. I had no idea. I was about to jump off into my death. So we go ahead and contest this team. People play this game weird. I don't understand the gameplay. People just love sitting in buildings and camping. The only time you're going to see me in buildings is if I'm fighting a team, if I'm repositioning, if I'm clearing the building, or if I'm repairing or healing myself. Other than that, you're never going to see me just sit up there waiting for a team to come. I don't understand why people do that. I just don't get any enjoyment from sitting in the same spot over and over. I'm way too ADHD, so I've got to keep moving around or I'm going to lose interest in the game. Now, again, as you can see, guys, we're going right back where we came from. Don't be afraid to move around. Don't be afraid to go where you just came from. Bounce back and forth. Go for where the kills are. I know that Storage Town is going to be popping, so we're going to go back to Storage Town for the second time. Some people will leave an area and they're like, I don't want to go back. There's no reason to go back. But if it's a hot area, guys, especially if it's like Superstore or Hangars or something like that, it's still in late game, go back and get some free kills. You don't always need a UAV to know where the enemies are at. Use your best judgment, use your memory on other games, and go off of that, guys. But unfortunately, the team that we had heard shooting in Storage Town earlier got killed by another team, so we are on our way right now to kill that team as well. As you see, my teammate is by himself 1v2ing. I am a little bit to the right, and I'm going to end up taking a hard flank to the right to get a different angle on the rock the guy's hiding behind. You notice my teammate pinged the rock. I knew exactly where he was, and I put some shots down to continue my wide right flank. I'm going to keep peppering this guy. Again, guys, if you're playing duos, trios, or quads, always attack the enemy from multiple directions. That is the best way to get the kill, and I see so many players not doing that. Guys, that is probably the best tip I can give you guys, and I'm going to say it in every one of these videos because I just feel like not enough people do this or not enough people practice this. Guys, always, always, always. And as you saw earlier in the game, I'm guilty of not doing it as well. I'm guilty at times. All right, when it comes to navigating in the open, guys, and I feel like I don't want to address this that much, but you'll notice I'm keeping my body near trees, rocks, ridges, and fence lines. You don't want to run in the middle of the street. I see that happen a lot. People just running out in the middle of the open, not giving a shit about cover. Remember, guys, concealment's cool and all, but cover is bae. Cover is the only way, and always keep yourself near something that can protect you from bullets. Trees, bushes, things like that don't really protect you most of the time, so try to keep hard cover. Even as I'm crossing the street, notice I'm going from light pole to light pole as opposed to just straight across where there's not even cover. Even if I get to the light pole and I get shot at, I probably will die, but it'll take them longer to kill me because I'll be sidestepping behind it, and that will protect me from a lot of rounds. All right, guys, so here we are late game. We have the best advantage. This is the highest part of the map, and because you have the best advantage, be ready to fight the enemy team. As you can see here, there's already somebody here, so we have to contest him fast. We get one knock. Don't know where his teammate is, but I'm going to assume that he's running away, so I go ahead and check the back of the fence line. A lot of people sit there and just hold the angles. Meanwhile, if you're holding the same angle, the enemy teammate that you didn't kill is flanking you, and that's exactly what this dude tried doing, but thank God I had a heartbeat and he did not have ghost. And here we go again, this enemy putting himself in a position where he's sitting on a staircase with his back to a wall, and the only way he can go is backwards. Guys, maintain some kind of cover. He's standing out in the open trying to contest the doorway. He was asking to die. What that enemy should have done was, instead of going upstairs, he should have opened the door from behind us and shot us while we were looting his teammate. Again, guys, UAVs win games. I'm sorry. There's really not that many players in this game that run Ghost. There really isn't. Whether they die, they come back from the gulag, whether they just don't buy it, whatever the case may be, the battlefield is littered with people without Ghost. UAVs, especially late game, are extremely crucial, especially if you want to get your kill count up by UAVs. There's some games, depending on what the kills are. If I start a game hot with 10 kills right off the dump, I'm going to be buying UAVs the whole time. That way I can hunt down kills. Self-revive is cool in situations, but let's just be honest. I think 70% of the self-revives I buy, either A, I don't ever go down when I have it, or B, I go down and get executed. I think we're all in pretty much agreement with that one. Yes, it'll save you sometimes, but again, if I'm trying to go for a high kill game, I'm going to be utilizing UAVs way more. And guys, if you have extra money, go ahead and pop the UAV and buy another one. Pop 3 and then buy an extra one. Always sit on top of UAV. Try to have one going at all times. All right, so I see an enemy coming in. He's going to a loadout stash. So I want to go ahead and contest him as soon as possible. Hopefully him and his teammates aren't there waiting with their loadouts. Now notice the UAV, this guy's sitting in a corner. Again, guys, sitting in a corner is not the safest way. I don't understand why we as players have, the urge to, when we feel threatened, sit in a corner. Again, when you back yourself into a corner, you're putting yourself in a dangerous position. Think about when it comes to wild animals. If they're backed into a corner and you're coming at them, what happens? They're super aggressive because they feel threatened, because they're in danger. It's the same way when you're playing video games, guys. You put yourself in a corner, you put yourself at a disadvantage. And of course, right here on the outside of the building, he's sitting here with sticks waiting to get the stick kills. All right, guys, just like I said a few minutes ago, the position that we were at before we contested this guy was the best position. So me and my teammate are going to make our way back to the best position, which is the highest ground, which has the most cover. So we're going to go ahead and work our way back so we can get that position. Now, I went ahead and pick up a bounty as well. Late game, guys, sometimes when you pick up the bounty, it's just going to give you cash. But if you get lucky, it'll give you that bounty and you'll know at least where one of the teams is. There's only 3 enemy teams left. We know where one team is. All we have to do is account for the 2 teams. Guys, whether you're contesting a team or not, if you hear gunshots, always be aware of where they are. That way, if you finish that gunfight, you already know where that next team is. That way you can kind of put in your head a mental image of what the map looks like. You said, okay, there's a team here, there's a team here. I'm just looking for one more team. Where are they going to be at? And then once you find them, you now have accounted all the teams on the game. So the last thing you want to do, especially late game, is wait for the circle to push you across an open street to get safe. These guys right here that we're marking should have rotated well before the circle actually stopped that position. They should have already positioned at the hill or at the train to the right way before we were ever able to get to this point. So my teammate starts to move out there to try to get some kills. I'm like, hey, bro, we got the position. We have the best position on the map. Let's just hold our ground. Let's just play it safe, play it slow. Sometimes you get caught up in the moment. You got a lot of kills. You're on a roll. You want to get more, and then you get a little cocky. Sometimes, I'm guilty of it. My teammates are guilty of it. If you see somebody do that, guys, calm them down. Be like, look, relax. Game's almost over. Let's finish the fight. All right, so we know there's one guy left over here. We're playing duo, so I'm just waiting for the moment where he crosses. And of course, here he is, just running full-fledged right at me. Easy kill. I will be honest, I have really fallen in love with the VLK scope here lately, especially on the Graw. The Graw is already such a laser, and the VLK is just the perfect cherry on top. All right, guys, so this part's a little messed up, I'm gonna be honest. My teammate had the 2 sticks. I don't know what it's called, but he had the 2 sticks where you beat the enemy with them. And he's like, hey, bro, let me get the last kill with him. So we went ahead and did that. So you'll see here, I just basically distract the enemy while my teammate goes in through the gas, comes up behind him, and beats the living shit out of him. Was it messed up? Yes. If I was that guy, would I be mad? Yes. The enemy actually had a good play, launching a cluster strike on us. The cluster strike is goated because it puts you out of position. He had a good play on that one. He had some good shots. But as you see, I'm just slow peeking the edge as my teammate comes up from behind and puts in some work. But guys, that match was a lot of fun. I really hope some of the tips and techniques I'm teaching you guys is helping. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see. Give me some ideas, give me some advice on to help you guys. You guys are the ones watching it and taking in the tips. What would you guys like to see? What do you guys struggle with? Let me know below. But guys, if you haven't already, again, smash the like button. Let's get this video to 200 likes. Subscribe to the channel today and check us out on Twitch. But y'all have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Yo, guys, what is going on? Savage here. I really hope you guys are enjoying these tips and tricks videos. If you are, please subscribe to the channel today. Also, check out my how to get better at mouse and keyboard and other previous tips and tricks videos right there. Y'all have a good one and good luck in Warzone.